If you're dating, I don't have to tell you that modern dating is complicated because you already know that and you're already struggling through it, wondering what is it? Is it me? Am I just too old fashioned or just too committed and too ready, too emotionally mature, ready for a relationship to really have one, find another person that is where I'm at? Well, no, it's not impossible. But I think there's several things going on in modern culture and social media that are making it more difficult. And if you're aware of those things, if you actually can find someone to talk about them, then it's more likely that the two of you can find ways to kind of make it so these obstacles don't show up in your relationship. Because, for example, one is high expectations. Well, high expectations come mostly from comparing yourself to what you see with influencers on social media. So if you do social media less, and you pay attention more, like you guys create limited times for your screens, right away you're going to knock out two of these complications or obstacles that are really messing up relationships. And the way I see what's happening is people come into my office and they talk about it. And then I'm like, you guys, this is common for everybody. This isn't because your relationship is messed up. It's because you've allowed these other things to penetrate the boundary of the two of you. And you have to have boundaries against these. So here are the obstacles. The first one, digital distraction. As you know, when you're scrolling or anxious, you pick up your phone, right away you're inundated by what you're reading. You're inundated by influencers, by pornography, by other things, what to buy, and you don't need any of those things. What you need to do is take a tablet with you when you're at a coffee shop and write down things, free associate, do your journal, learn a new language, do anything but scroll the screens. Number two, the hookup culture. We've made sex casual. It's no longer sacred. If you buy into this, you're going to have more and more people that you're having one night stands with, feeling more and more worthless about yourself, feeling less and less trusting that there can be another person for you, and more miserable about the situation you're in. So stop it. You determine who you have sex with. Make sure it's a meaningful experience. Make sure it's someone you plan to go a long while with, perhaps even creating a relationship that sustains itself into marriage and further. Thirdly, instant gratification. You want what you want when you want it. Makes it look that way. The more you're on social media, the more you listen to other people. Well, my parents had this and this. I want this and this. Your parents worked a long time and they did a lot of stuff you probably aren't willing to do. So if you want the financial wealth or all that comes with that, then you have to start working now. You have to take the job sometimes that nobody else wants. You need to get your foot in the door and you need to quit whining about it. You need to act on it. Next, pressure for perfection. I talked about this earlier. The more you scroll, the more you look at filters, the more you're going to think they are perfect. I am not, therefore I am flawed. The worse you're going to feel about yourself, the lower your self-esteem. The one thing we know that's attraction and dating is confidence. You're not going to have confidence if you're scrolling or looking at social media. Career opportunities. I mean, let's face it, there are a lot of career opportunities. There's a lot of career demands. People want more from one employee than they've ever wanted before. But at the same time, either do the work or leave. If that's not what you want, then leave. But before you leave, make sure you have something else lined up so that you can take care of yourself and not whine or depend on others to take up for you, because that doesn't ever work in real life, even in virtual life. You need to feel good about yourself. You need to be confident. You need to do what you can at work, and when it's too much, you need to start making plans for something else. Individualism and autonomy. The society is basically saying you don't need anybody. Oh, but by the way, finding a life partner is the most important decision you're ever going to make. I mean, come on. We're all interdependent. We're all connected. If we haven't learned anything else with the global state, it's that we all depend on each other. So rather than think it's your way or the highway, start talking to people. Ask them why they feel the way they do. And then don't jump on them to make your point, but rather be aware that people think differently, including you, and be somewhat tolerant of that. Fear of vulnerability. A lot of people don't want to open up. They're afraid to trust another person. They came from a family of chaos or a split family where they found people who said they loved each other, split up, and they've assumed that matter that nothing lasts forever. You are not where you came from. Your parents may have split. You may have had chaos in your family, but you do not have to recreate that. That's an old tape you're telling yourself. Reparent yourself so that you don't continue to doom or sabotage yourself into a life exactly like what you grew up in. High expectations. It's okay to have realistic expectations, but when you make them so high and they're based on some kind of a fairy tale, that never works. You are not a goddess, and no guy is a prince, and therefore it takes two people willing to make changes and accommodate to create a relationship they love being part of. You can't do that if you expect someone to do it all. You got to do your fair share. The emotional and physical load are real, and burnout is real. So do your share. Be willing to do more when more is needed, and be willing to tell your partner how grateful you are when you can't carry your part of the load. Lastly, I think it's really important that you do a sit down with yourself, that you find out what you are, who you are, that you're honest with it. And the first person you tell who you honestly are with, if they can take that, if they can still love you after that, then this is someone to work with. This is someone worthwhile. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.